The state Senate passed a budget bill, and based on some good revenue months this spring, they've added more than $500 million to your $27.1 billion spending proposal. So first question, are you a little irked that they took that liberty to add that money on?
Well, this isn't the completion of the whole cycle. Number one, when we made our budget, that was back in February with numbers that were completely different than what we're seeing right now. Number two, though, last year at this time, if you recall, we had a couple good months also. And people were talking about a $700 million surplus. And I said, you can't put that in there. First off, it's not a surplus. And secondly, we don't know that this economy is going to continue the way it's going. And to base it on a couple months of increased revenues is not exactly prudent. And I take a look at what the legislature, what the Senate did yesterday, as they would like to put $500 million back in. I don't think it's prudent at this point to necessarily look at it that way. To me, that's in negotiations between the House, Senate, and myself. That's a ceiling. We gave them a floor, and there might be something that is reached in between, but it might be as low as the floor. I don't see it going as high as the ceiling. And the other thing I look at is, the revenues that are coming in have come in a little bit better than anticipated. But last year they did too, and then once July hit, they just dropped off, and we needed to spend that money. So I urge them to remember the history of last year. Finally, I take a look at what's going on around the world. The elections in France certainly changed what their economic approach was, and we're going to see what the new president of France does.
And
if they move away from austerity in Greece, I saw movies or films of riots and so forth in there. So France, Greece, Italy, Spain give me pause to be concerned that the economy could take a hit. If something were to happen in the Mideast, in Iran or Israel or Afghanistan, something could happen. So, I can't base an increase of $500 million on 2 good months of revenues.
And for the year, we're still down.
We're still down.
And, Governor, you seem to have coined the vocabulary word of the day or of the week with calling that 27.7 a ceiling. Everybody's using that word now, including House Democrats who say we have to be more concerned about the walls and the foundation of this budget house. So I guess...
Well, I'm glad to hear them say they're concerned about the foundation of the budget house, because that's exactly what we need to be concerned with. Is the money coming in sustainable? Will we see it in the following year? Because what has happened, if you look at people being upset about education, if you go back to the prior administration, they added a lot of federal stimulus money in. That money is gone. We couldn't make up that money. We're giving the school districts more money than they've ever received in the basic education funding formula. They seem to forget that the federal money was one-time money. And so people start relying on money that's not there. And I certainly understand it, but it's very difficult to go out and tax the people of Pennsylvania to equal the amount of federal money that was here that the federal government is no longer sending us.